here on 90.3 FM. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for Helping Seniors of Brevard. Carrie Fink is on assignment for today, so let's tune into the master control room, the studio, and Nancy Deardorff is standing by to host today's show. Good afternoon, Nancy.
Good afternoon, John.
How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well myself and looking forward to hearing a great show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm sorry for everybody that was looking forward to hearing Carrie, but I am sitting in for Carrie today, and we were talking about what we should talk about on today's show, and we decided to do really helping seniors of Brevard in a nutshell. There's still so many people out there that don't know what we do, how we help, and our goal, of course, is to help as many seniors as possible. But if you don't know we exist or don't know what we do, then you may not reach out to us. So today is all about helping seniors of Brevard. And as many people know, but to recap, Helping Seniors of Brevard was founded by our late founder, Joe Steckler, in 2011. He had established a wonderful organization called Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation, also known for their Joe's Clubs, in the 90s. And in 2011, he branched out. He said to himself, Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation is great. It focuses on helping people, those with Alzheimer's and dementia-related illnesses and conditions, but really all seniors need help. And Joe has been passionate about helping seniors ever since he headed up a retirement home for veterans in Gulfport, Mississippi. And so when he retired from the military as a naval captain, he never really retired. And so, honestly, we lost him and his wife, Terry, who was his right-hand man or woman through this, the whole, from Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation to Helping Seniors of Brevard in January. And he pretty much worked for Helping Seniors to promote our cause and get the word out to people as much as possible, very close up to the day he died. He never gave up. And so we were born in 2011, and we operate very frugally. We're not a rich organization. We're not a large organization. And John, you know this. John was on a founding member. You go way back with Joe. John, how many years do you go back with Joe Steckler?
Well, counting the Alzheimer's Association, that goes back to 1993.
Wow. So I knew him for a long time. For me, he was my mentor. He was one of my best friends, and he was like a second father to me. And I knew him for well over 20 years, but you got me beat. And he was a hard person to say no to. So when I go back to the Alzheimer's Foundation days too, volunteering. When he asked me to get involved, Joe doesn't take no for an answer. Thank goodness.
Well, he really helped to put them on the map.
He absolutely did.
Them being the Alzheimer's Foundation Association here in Brevard County with 2 locations.
Well, 3 now.
Is it 3?
Yeah, they've got the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation
the one on
has
Wickham
3
Road.
Joe's Clubs. The original one is off of Wickham Road in Melbourne.
Then there's one in Titusville.
That was the last one built. That was the third one. The second one built was in Mico, Florida, right there near Barefoot Bay.
Oh, all right.
So there's 3 locations.
Is that still in existence?
It still is. So there's 3 locations throughout Brevard for people. And in 2011, as I said, Joe said it's not just people with dementia-related illnesses that need help, it's all seniors. And he became a fierce advocate for seniors. And in 2011, we were born, right, John?
That's right.
Yeah. So you and I go back quite a ways too.
Yeah.
And we were both founding board members.
Right.
John is now our president of Helping Seniors of Brevard. And
remember our first board meeting?
I do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
And we're so happy to have you and so blessed to have you as our president.
Well, thank you.
Our goal is to help people and carry on Joe's legacy. And before he died, he was thinking of helping seniors right up until that point. He said to me, he said to you, he said to Carrie at different times, keep it going. People need us. And what I want people to know about us is we're not a large organization. We're not a rich organization. We operate based on private donations, business sponsorships, bequests, and of course fundraisers like our car raffle, which is our major one we'll be talking about later in the show. Grants, we've gotten grants in the past. They're harder to get nowadays, and you can't really rely on them. So we really depend on private donation sponsorships in our fundraisers. So when you participate in our fundraiser, you are donating to helping seniors. And I always say we can't do this alone, but together we can continue helping seniors. So I would like to think of us as the big thing that comes in a small package. We're not big, but we do a lot of great things. And our mission is to enhance the quality of life for seniors in Brevard through information, education, resources, and connection. And part of that, our goal, and Joe's goal in developing Helping Seniors was to help seniors develop an effective aging plan. I heard somebody call it a longevity plan, which is a nicer way to put it, right? People are living longer and longer these days. And we want to talk about developing an aging plan, which we euphemistically call it getting your ducks in a row. So like a hurricane plan, where you plan for a hurricane, you don't necessarily know if it's coming, but you have your plans. We want seniors to develop their own aging plan, to plan for events that inevitably life brings our way. So that's what an aging plan is all about. How do we?
It's good to think about that, to get one established. A lot of times, people kind of overlook it. It's kind of like buying insurance. They know they should, but they don't.
Yes.
Things like that. This getting your ducks in a row that we've talked about here on the show now for so many years, I think is a good opportunity for us to really find out what we need to do in our families and to get things organized.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say it's never too late to develop an aging plan, although the earlier you start, the better. Because people often call us in crisis, and when you're in crisis mode, your options may be less. You're not necessarily making good decisions for yourself when you're in crisis mode. So planning, and yes, some of the topics when we talk about aging aren't pleasant to talk about. But I guarantee you feel a whole lot better if you get these ducks in a row. Then you can sit back and relax and know that you have a plan for the future.
It really is important.
Yes.
And to do exactly what you said, Nancy, to plan ahead with your family, those closest to you who would be involved with helping your life in the future. As you said at the outset of the show, people are living a lot longer these days, and it's not unusual to hear of someone at the age of 99 or 100.
Not unusual at all. It used to be, but not anymore. And I thought, we thought today would be a good chance to expand on and educate listeners on what we do, because
we should have that Tom Jones song. It's not unusual.
It's not. That's true. That's absolutely true. So people often ask me, well, what do you do? Helping Seniors of Brevard, what do you do and how do you help? Well, as I said, our mission is to enhance the quality of life of seniors in Brevard, and we do that through providing information, education, resources, and connection. Well, how do we do that? How do we get the word out? We do it in a multitude of ways. In no particular order. First of all, we have Helping Seniors magazine, which is located in the center section of Senior Scene magazine every month and is widely available throughout the county. And our Helping Seniors magazine has important educational articles that really never go out of style to keep seniors informed on developing their aging plan. Included in that, and also available online, is our Senior Services Directory of Services, Helping Seniors Directory of Services. And that leads seniors to a variety of different businesses, services that are available to them, because oftentimes people don't know who to call for a trusted handyman. They don't know who to call for an elder care attorney. They don't know who to call for home care. And people trust us. They know that we know these businesses. We know the owners of these businesses. We know who works there. And they know that if they call us or they refer to our directory, that they're getting a business that's trustworthy. We have, of course, Helping Seniors Radio today, and our thanks to WEJF 90.3 FM for helping us get the word out there about helping seniors. Helping Seniors TV. We have our website, which is chock full of great information. We try to keep social media up to date, so to keep people informed of what's going on out there. We have our Helping Seniors live educational programs, which take place the fourth Thursday of every month at our Senior Resource Center on Apollo Boulevard in Melbourne. And those are excellent way to learn from different subject matter experts, all topics related to developing your own aging plan. Probably one of the most popular things that we do, John, that many people know about, is our Helping Seniors information phone line. Last year alone, we received over 4,000 calls, you name it, from soup to nuts, from people calling, and our full-time senior navigator will help guide people to the resources that they need. I always say, how do you know what you don't know? And the fact of the matter is you don't. So if you don't know who to call for something, then if you don't know the resources out there, then you can't take advantage of them. So no call, no subject is off limits. I do want to specify it's not a hotline. It's not an urgent line or an emergency line. But if you need help finding a resource for whatever your issue is, our senior information line at 321-473-7770, our senior care navigator can help point you in the right direction.
When somebody calls up with a question of where to find a particular service, product, want, or need,
yes,
and we don't necessarily have it, what happens? What's the next step as far as what we do on our end to get that information to the caller?
Well, that's a very good question, and I'm glad you brought that up. If you open up Senior Scene magazine and you look at our directory of services, those are our business sponsors, without whom we could not continue. So exactly what you're saying. What happens if somebody needs a resource that's not in that directory? We get those calls all the time. Our resources that we can lead people to are not limited to those businesses listed in the Senior Services Directory. For instance, some people need help from another nonprofit. So I'll give you an example. The Brevard Association for the Advancement of the Blind. So we'll get a call, somebody is either newly blind or they need blind resources for themselves or a family member. You won't find Brevard Association for the Advancement of the Blind in our Senior Services Directory, but that is a resource we would give out. It would be impossible for us to publish all of the resources we have, because you should see the database. Karen Warnland, our center director, and our senior care navigator, pardon me, you should see the resource book that she has. It is very, very thick. So that's why we say if you don't see a service in our Senior Services Directory related to what it is you need, still don't hesitate to call. We can lead you. We have a lot of resources that we know of, and Brevard Association for the Advancement of the Blind is just one of them. Another one, John, you and Jim and I were talking before the show about an aging plan, and Jim brought up a good point about people don't plan for their pets. What happens if someone lives alone with their pet and they get hospitalized or have to go to a rehab facility before going home? and they have no one to watch their pet. There's a resource for that. There is a company out there, an organization, nonprofit, that will take care of someone's pet, not for vacations, but for instances where the pet owner is in the hospital or rehab. So I don't know if I answered your question, but or if that you think that's clear for our listeners.
Yeah, one further layer, though, to that question. Brevard County, biggest county as far as north and south land goes here in the state of Florida.
72 miles long, yes.
Long county indeed. What happens if somebody calls up and let's say they're in Mico?
Yes.
Almost to the Indian River County line, Indian River and Brevard County, but somebody needs services in Mims, the furthest north that Brevard County goes.
And you bring up a great point. And the name Helping Seniors of Brevard means what it says, Helping Seniors of Brevard. So whether you are in the most northern end of the county or the most southern tip of the county, we're here for you. And the reason we do TV, radio, articles, all these programs, by the way, are also, so the radio and the TV are archived. So anybody can go onto our website and look up old programs if they missed the program. Like this radio show that we're doing today will be archived so people can listen. And the reason we do things like that is because we know not everybody can come to our Senior Resource Center. They can't, we're on Apollo Boulevard in Melbourne in the Apollo Professional Tower, but people can't drive necessarily or not willing to drive. Gas is expensive from Titusville to there. So we make our educational programs, our information and resources accessible throughout the county. We've even helped people outside of the county and outside of the state find resources in their area because that's what we do. Although we specialize in Brevard County because this is our home and this is where our richest knowledge of resources exist. So it doesn't matter where you come from in the county, Helping Seniors of Brevard is for Brevard as a whole.
That's important to know, and I think, Nancy Deardorff, that's important to get that information out to our listeners because some may think, well, I live in Melbourne,
yes,
but the information I need is for my mother who lives in Titusville.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
and we do get calls from outside of the state. From a lot of those 4,000 calls I talked about on our senior information line last year, many of them, probably the majority, were from adult children of the person they were calling for, their mom or their dad or their grandparent, out of state. Mom or dad does not want to move out of Brevard County. They like Florida. The daughter lives up north or the son lives up north, and they know nothing about the county, but they need to help their parent lead and guide them to resources, and that's what we do.
Very important indeed. Now, for someone who is calling from Ames, Iowa, how do they know we exist?
Well, they may not know we exist, but a lot of the calls that we get when we say, how did you hear about us, is through the web. They look up Help for Seniors, and that ends up where they see Helping Seniors of Brevard, and then they check out our website and they see what we do and they give us a call. So again, the more we can get the word out, the better, because we can't help you, we can't help that senior if people don't know we exist.
I agree with that. This is Jim Botro, by the way, Nancy.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Nancy. At any rate, I really agree with the whole concept of giving people information because information really is power.
Especially, absolutely.
Especially with the senior population because so much happens around here that people just don't know about. Things like veterans benefits, for example,
yes,
for a woman whose husband passes away or something, and they haven't even thought about the fact that they have veterans benefits potentially.
Right.
And stuff like that. They're very, very important things that we basically have experience as information distributors, more or less, and in terms of letting people know what might be available to them.
Yes.
Now, we're in a situation where everybody's trying to save a buck these days. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's the truth. And helping seniors really does help you. Helps with housing questions, helps with all kinds of questions. And, how to avoid scams. We talk about the web.
That's a big one for us now,
It's a big thing to avoid scams because there's so much of that on the web. And, helping seniors does so much to keep people informed that it's just probably one of the most important things. It's a lot better than getting a cane or a walker that you might need, because we might know where you can do it.
Exactly.
But we know where you can find it. That's the whole point.
And Jim, that's such a big compliment. For those of you who don't know Jim personally, for him to say helping seniors is such a big help, that is a huge compliment. Thank you so much.
Well, it is.
I appreciate you saying that. We appreciate your support through the years.
I only speak truth. I mean, it is a real factor in terms of the senior population here, and we've got more seniors almost every minute.
Absolutely,
growing and growing and growing.
Yes,
and there is an awful lot of information available, and it can really kind of fixate on your particular instance of a problem, or whatever problem you have. We probably, at Helping Seniors, they probably have a good answer.
Right, and here's the thing. There's a lot of help for folks if you fall into a specific category in the county, right? So if you are disabled in any way, there are certain available programs for your disability, whether it's multiple sclerosis or stroke or dementia. You have dementia, there's dementia resources. But Joe set out to create Helping Seniors of Brevard because we want to help all seniors. Mm-hmm. So what about the senior who's pretty healthy? You still need an aging plan. And coming up after the break, I want to get into what are the 7 pillars of developing your aging plan. And we'll get into that after the break.
A big snowball reflector on the ceiling as everybody dances around to the music. And we always enjoy that. Nancy was dancing around there along with Jim Votro and myself, John Harper. Well, Jim and I were not dancing.
Definitely not, Ollie.
Let's make that clear. But nonetheless, always kind of fun. We enjoy the music and we enjoy the program. Nancy, you're doing a great job here today, Nancy Deardorff. And why don't you go ahead and pick us up here with the second half of today's Helping Seniors of Brevard.
Thank you, John. And Big Band is one of my favorites. I love it. Love it. Never goes out of style.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right.
So we have a lot to get to with a short amount of time. This radio show always seems to go by so fast. And what I really want to get out there to people is to talk about the 7 pillars or 7 parts, 7 sections, whatever you want to call it, of developing your aging plan. So for those of you listening, if you want to know how to start, if you haven't already, get your notebooks out and take some notes. So first I'm going to go over the 7 sections, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of each section. When I say a little bit, it's a little bit because we could be on the air for hours if we really thoroughly talked about it. But so the 7 sections, we call it the 7 ducks. Number 1 is your health and wellness duck. Number 2 is your legal duck. Number 3 is your financial duck. Number 4 is your safety duck. Number 5 is your senior living duck. Number 6 is your household and transportation duck. And number 7 is talking about your Medicare duck, meaning insurance. So under each of those, so our idea is if you educate yourself and listen to Helping Seniors and use the resources that we have, is you can educate yourself on each of these 7 areas. And by the time you're done with each of these ducks, guess what? Your ducks are in a row. So you will have developed your aging plan. So let's talk about pillar number 1, your health and wellness. When we think of health and wellness, we want to think of several areas under that category. You want to look at physical health. Maintaining wellness is so important, but also for those with chronic conditions, chronic condition management, whether it's diabetes or heart disease. Mental health. Mental health is very important, and I spent 33 years practicing as a registered nurse. mostly in geriatrics for the majority of my career. And I will tell you that one of the things that many people are not aware of with mental health and seniors is depression in the elderly is very common and depression can often exacerbate or add to other issues and cause other issues physically in the elderly. It's very normal as we age for a chemical in our brain called serotonin to decrease as we age. So it's not uncommon for a senior who's never been depressed before to suddenly show maybe symptoms of depression, and that needs to be addressed. When we talk about health and wellness, we also want to talk about cognitive health. Talking about things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and Alzheimer's is only one form of dementia. There are many, many types of dementia. Many people have been following Bruce Willis's story. I don't know if you caught the TV program interview with his wife. Bruce Willis has frontotemporal dementia, so that's a different type. So it's important if you see cognitive changes in yourself, or more likely a family member notices, to get that addressed. There's been so many advances in dementia help to help ward off those symptoms and keep people as cognitively healthy as possible for as long as possible. Spiritual health. Statistics show people who have spirituality or faith, doesn't matter what that is, whether you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Muslim, whether you're any other type of faith, people that have faith and believe in something tend to do better overall than people who believe in nothingness. So spiritual health is very important. And then finally, social health. We don't look at that enough in seniors. Did you guys know, Jim and John, did you guys know that in May 23rd of 2022, right, we're still in the COVID epidemic, right? Mm-hmm. The U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, declared a national loneliness and as a social epidemic in the United States, and he equated loneliness and isolation with the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Really?
That's how much loneliness has an effect on your body. Loneliness and isolation increases the chance, or can exacerbate, cardiovascular disease. It can exacerbate and make worse dementia processes. It can lead to stroke, depression, anxiety, and lead to premature death. So loneliness is something that we don't address enough, and Helping Seniors is here for that too. People come out to our educational programs. It's social as well as you learn something. Plus, we can lead you to other social activities that are a fit for you. We're not expecting you to go out and join all sorts of clubs, but it's important for seniors to stay social. So those are all the issues under your health and wellness that you need to pay attention to. Another one, the second pillar is your legal pillar or legal duck. And one of the things we're always professing is it's very important for people to consult with an elder care attorney. Many people think that trusts and wills are for people that are rich, particularly trust, right? People think, oh, I need to be very wealthy to have a trust, and that's not true. If you own a home, if you own a car, if you have a bank account, if you have investments, if you have an IRA, you need to consult with an elder care attorney and make a plan for that's specified to you. And all of these, we do ask you to shy away from the TV ads that recommend you go to some sort of legal.com and do your own, particularly in the state of Florida. Our elder care attorneys have told us people have had to spend money that they wouldn't normally have to spend because things got so messed up through an online program or people trying to do this on their own that they finally had to seek out an elder care attorney to help them undo and get things right. So then you're really wasting money. And a lot of people will say, well, geez, elder care attorney, they're so expensive. And I'm here to tell you, I ended up in a situation where I was the trustee for a family member. And at first, when we were talking with the attorney, I thought, oh my God, that's so expensive. And after going through this process, and there was a lot of stuff involved in this particular trust and estate, I said to my attorney, I got to be honest with you, when we first came to see you and you told me how much it was that my loved one paid for, it was my loved one's, it was my sister's trust estate. I said, I thought that was highway robbery. Now, because it was a complicated estate and trust that spanned here and Massachusetts. And I said to my attorney, I never could have done this on my own. And now I see why you charge what you charge. It's very worth it. And in the end, what my sister spent on developing her estate plan and her advance directives, in the end, it actually saved her money.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. So the third one is your financial duck or your financial pillar. Things that I ask people to consider are things like, what is your income? First of all, how do you start that? Well, you get a piece of paper and you look at your income and assets versus your expenses. And you need to consider 3 different types of expenses. This is the way I break it down. 1 is your known expenses. 2 is your unknown or unexpected expenses. And 3 is other. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, your known expenses are things like your mortgage, if you have one, or rent, homeowners insurance, homeowners association fees, your utilities, Wi-Fi, cell phone, gas for your car, food. You generally know what your medical insurance premiums cost or what your responsibility is. Home maintenance. Now, some of that is unexpected, but the known expenses are, if you own a home, you know you're going to need it painted every so many years, and you know you're going to need a new roof every so many years, and if you don't have the new roof, you can't get homeowners insurance. So, very important. Lawn care. If you're not doing it yourself, what is the cost for lawn care? Pool maintenance, if you have a pool. These are all predictable, known expenses. The second is unknown expenses. And these are things like unexpected medical expenses. Home repair, something goes wrong, your AC goes out, and you have to pay for that. A homeowners association special assessment. I had that happen for my sister's property with whom I was a trustee. They had a couple things go wrong, and there was a special assessment. Car repairs. Those are just a few examples of unknown expenses that creep up, and all of a sudden you're hit with them. Now, the other expenses, the third category of expenses, are things that I call your wants. Those are things like vacation, travel, dining out, entertainment, a home remodel if that's what you're looking to do. So to get your financial ducks in a row, you need to sit down, look at your income versus your assets, your income and assets versus your expenses, and then break your expenses down into the known, the unknown, and then of course the disposable income for travel. The fourth duck, if you will, is your safety duck. That talks about all sorts of things like slip, trip, and fall prevention. Falls is a huge cause of morbidity and mortality for people over the age of 65 in the United States. We want to talk about home safety. Not only home safety as far as preventing break-ins, proper lighting outside your home, proper locks, fire safety, having workable smoke detectors, but also things like throw rugs, shower safety. Sometimes we get calls from seniors looking to convert their bathtub into a walk-in or roll-in shower. Fire safety, storm safety, that's a big one in Florida. We talk about hurricane safety. A lot of seniors don't have the means to put up shutters. They may have the hurricane shutters, but they can't put them up or take them down, or put up plywood or take them down. Or they don't have family. So planning where you're going to go, and then planning for your pet safety too. Most hotels take pets. Most shelters like county-run shelters, do not take pets. So it's very important for people to plan for the safety of their pet. Driving safety is another one. And then a big one we were talking about earlier, Jim and John, were cyber safety and safety from scams. We had a hugely successful scam jam, I think it was back in May, and it sold out. And it was free, but it got booked out. We're doing another one coming up in November. The one in May was in Melbourne. We're doing another one in November. More information to come on that up in Titusville area. And we have guest speakers that talk about the latest scams, particularly that target seniors. I'm sure everybody's used to the on your smartphone you get a text that you ran a toll or your tolls are due. There's all sorts of scams out there. So we're educating seniors on how to identify and avoid them as much as possible. Your pillar number 5 is your senior living duck. That is deciding what you're going to do and where you're going to live as you age. Is your plan to stay put in your own home? Is your plan to downsize? Is your plan to move in with family? Or is your plan for assisted living or maybe memory care? Memory care is usually not a planned thing, but giving your family an idea of, if this happens, this is what I want. And the other thing, I thought of this morning as I was thinking about doing this radio show, is the key to an effective aging plan is flexibility. If you're not willing to be flexible, then it doesn't, in where you're living, depending on your circumstances, nobody wants to leave home. Nobody wants to leave home. Everybody wants to stay home, but it may not be practical. There may be stairs. You may be living alone, and it's just not the most conducive environment. So you've got to think about, if this, and this happens, and I need help, or this place is too big or too hazardous with stairs or whatnot, where am I willing to live if that happens? The 6th duck is household and transportation, thinking about, if you can no longer drive, how are you going to get your groceries? How are you going to do your banking? How are you going to pay your bills? Are you able to pay your bills, depending on your cognition? Who's going to take care of your yard? If you've always taken care of your yard and now you're unable to do that, doing something as mundane and simple as house cleaning. We get a lot of calls for that. People are like, I cannot clean this house. I can't vacuum. My back hurts or whatnot. I can't do this. But that's important to maintain a clean and healthy home. Pet care and getting to and from. If you can no longer drive, how are you going to get to and from where you need to go? And transportation, or lack thereof, ties right into Dr. Murthy's statement about loneliness. People who don't drive tend to stay home and isolate, and that just makes everything worse. And then finally, the last pillar is the Medicare duck. And that's learning about Medicare and then learning where you can get resources to decide what's right for you, original Medicare or a Medicare Advantage plan, also known as Medicare Part C. And we have a lot of resources for that can provide you guidance for free. You don't have to go through them. That will show you, they have access to all the information. What is the best Medicare, original Medicare or Medicare Plan C? What is the best for you depending on your medications, depending on if you travel a lot? So those are, in a nutshell, the 7 pillars. And what we do at Helping Seniors is we break down, in Senior Scene magazine, we break down every month into one of those 7 categories, so that by the end of the year, if you've listened to radio shows, we break those down. If you've watched our TV program, if you have read our articles, if you've come to our live senior education series, every single one of them focuses on at least a part of one of those 7 pillars, so that eventually you can put it all together and develop an aging plan. And Jim, you said something earlier about someone losing their husband. I wanted to give you an example of a call I got a couple of years ago.
Sure.
I got a call from a lady who was a couple. They lived in their home that had their mortgage paid, zero mortgage. Mm-hmm. But they still had property taxes
Insurance.
Homeowners insurance, and they lived in an HOA, so they had HOA fees. Her husband died unexpectedly. So together they had dual income, Social Security, right? When your spouse dies, this remaining spouse gets to choose the higher of the two, but you still are basically cutting your Social Security in half. She found herself, and I just was... what I do for helping seniors has been an education for me too. It's helped me plan for my aging plan because I never thought about this. You're together, things are good, your spouse dies. Suddenly she found herself in a situation where she had trouble staying in her own home financially when her husband passed. I can't imagine losing my spouse and then having to give up my home because I can't, that's paid for, because I can't afford to live there anymore.
Well, that's the real thing here, Nancy.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a lot of things that people don't even realize. There are resources that this woman could utilize above and beyond picking the higher of the two Social Securities. There are resources, like, for example, the Veterans Administration.
Right.
She could be entitled to spousal support from the Veterans Administration. She could be. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, let's say men or women.
Sure.
That is a very important aspect of living. I mean, the HOA fees lately are going through the roof.
Through the roof.
Everywhere.
I know people who right now HOA fees are what my old mortgage used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are problems that we get a lot of calls. I'm sure at Helping Seniors that you get a lot of calls from this stuff. But not only do you get calls, you end up finding solutions. A lot of times the information that is doled out by Helping Seniors is that power that gives you the answer that you might not be looking for,
right,
but you're going to get it. And then you can make some quantitative decisions. I mean, whether or not you're going to be able to stay in your home, even though you might want to,
right,
might not be, the best answer for you.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Flexibility is the key to an effective aging plan. So nobody wants to leave their house. But if you're going to be house poor and not enjoy life or not be able to pay your bills, it may not be possible. So an aging plan would ask, the aging plan question would be, okay, of course you want to stay in your home, but if you can't, what's your next option? What's your next choice?
And if, like, for example, if a lady or a gentleman had a spouse deceased, what we would have to do is have to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need, since I'm the primary person on the mortgage here or on the property, would I take a small loan out temporarily until I figured out what I was going to do?
Exactly.
And that's the kind of thing, the advice that is handed out virtually every single day.
Yes.
Every single day across Helping Seniors. I mean, not all financial advice, but just getting you.
Well, we don't provide the advice. We lead you to the experts that can provide that advice.
And basically, it's giving that information as to where they can go, what they can do. And there are a lot of companies around here that really deal with senior citizens.
Yes.
You mentioned insurance a little while ago. Health insurance, a big deal. Big deal. I had an agent many years ago, and that agent was, they don't know me, they don't care about me. Then I found one through Helping Seniors that not only cares, they actually call you every year to go over stuff. If you have a change in your medical stuff, that's the kind of thing that you
well,
pick up
and that's the kind of people that we associate with. So the businesses in our directory, a lot of them are for-profit businesses, but they're, the reason they're in our directory, the reason that they're part of our network is they're, they are trusted. These are people who have a passion for doing the right thing.
Yep.
For everyone, let's face it, but have an affinity for seniors and making sure that seniors get navigated in the right direction. So that's what our network is all about. We're coming up on time, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention. I mentioned how we survive private donations, our business sponsorships, and our fundraisers. And our biggest fundraiser is our 9th annual car raffle fundraiser and grand event, which is coming up on October 26th. That's a Sunday. and it's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the American Muscle Car Museum. And it's our major fundraiser for the year that keeps us going. And I want to be clear to people, it is a fun event for everyone. But the reason we have it is a fundraiser. So it's not just to give away a car. It's a fundraiser, and frankly, it is the major fundraiser that keeps us going. Each ticket is a donation. We have tickets available, $25 donation for one ticket, or we have a bundle of 5 tickets for a $100 donation. And it's important for our listeners to know that every single donation we receive, whether it's through our car raffle fundraiser or otherwise, stays in Brevard County to help our seniors. Each ticket for the grand event gets you into the grand event Sunday, October 26th, like I said, at the American Muscle Car Museum. Full access to the complete collection at the American Muscle Car Museum. We're going to have a huge outdoor car show, the biggest ever, compliments of our friend Bill Antonette's. We're going to have music, snacks, and we're putting together, for the first time, a trunk or treat for the kids. So the kids can come out in costume if they want. It's just a few days from Halloween. It's a safe way for kids to celebrate Halloween and also see some classic cars and have some fun. And of course, each ticket is entry into the raffle, so you can possibly win winner's choice of one of 7 cars. So please support our fundraiser. I always say, first of all, I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank this station, WEJF. But I want to thank all of our sponsors, all of our donors. We cannot do this alone. We truly cannot. But I always say together, we can continue helping seniors of Brevard. Thank you so much for listening.